this is Debbie and Walter and from Book and Bujo, and welcome here. So today I'm going to go through my 12 books and 12 movies of Christmas. Alright, so I have a long list for both. I actually watched quite a few movies. We watched one almost every night, which was kind of fun. And I read a lot of books as well. So I read a lot that were about Christmas and some that were just about winter. So I'm just choosing ones that were actually about Christmas. Don't forget, I always leave all of the links to everything in the description box. And I also have chapters, so if you just want to skip ahead to the movies, if you don't like the books, or if you want to watch the books and not the movies, you can skip around. I'm only going to go over my top 12, the ones that I rated the highest, that I liked the most. And so starting at number 12 was Santa's Secret. And Santa's Secret is a short little novella that is about a woman who has basically lost her job. She moved back home and is living with her grandmother, helping to take care of her. She's trying to find a new job. Also, her fiance left her basically at the altar at the church. But it's been a couple years and she's still kind of wallowing in that a little bit. And so then she meets, she loves to read. She goes to the library and there she meets the new library director. And from there a friendship begins, and it's, you know, under 200 pages or something, so it's kind of insta love, but it was cute. And I think the best part of the book was how the male librarian describes himself, which is how his mentor described himself, as a guibrarian, which was funny. Okay, anyway, moving on. Boxes in the Basement. This one was more of a mystery, and so Santa's Secret was a romance. And Boxes in the Basement is a mystery, and that one was really cute. So a lady moves to this new town, a new estate. Her husband passed away in a car accident with their baby, and so it's just her, and she's trying to heal, have a fresh start. So every time she turns a corner, she's not thinking of a time when she was with her husband or her child. She buys this big old house that needs to be renovated, and she's still not quite sure what she wants to do with it, but finds out that it has a little guest house in the back, and just the mystery kind of goes from there. She finds these boxes in the basement, like, how did they get there? What are they about? There's girls missing. Her husband was a police officer, so she's a novelist. She's done a few genres, but she's kind of focusing more on the mystery and the crime element of books, and so she used to help her husband try and figure out different cases he was working on. So yeah, it's really cute. So she gets involved with this mystery that's going about town. The young girl winds up dead somewhere out in the forest, and they're trying to figure out what happened. And then there's these two other girls that have gone missing. They're trying to figure out, are these connected? Are they not? But it was good. I actually enjoyed that one quite a bit. And then I read More Wonder, Experiencing Christmas. And this one is more of a devotional, so you read a different one every single day. And it was just really inspiring. It was a nice, uplifting, quick little read every morning. And then Christmas Time, 1939. I think this was actually the first book I read for December, and it was for the Buzzwordathon, have a number in the title. This one was interesting. So we're in, of course, 1939. We have a single mom trying to take care of her two children. She works in a retail store that sells women's clothing and things like that, and her new boss is just awful. He's demeaning, and basically he's kind of jealous of her, and she was also up for the job, but he got it, and he's taking things out on her, making her do all the grunt work and tasks that nobody else wants to do, which of course she does because she doesn't think she has any other options. She doesn't know how she's going to apparently we're laying down now. Doesn't know how she's gonna take care of her kids if she doesn't keep working, but she's always working on Saturdays and nights and all of this. She's trying to find babysitters. The kids hate going to the babysitters, and yeah, it's a cute little novella just that's teaches you not to give up on your dreams and to go after what you want. Don't be afraid to learn and grow. And then we had Nutcracker Sweets at Moonglow Inn, and this one was number 6 in the series, and I don't think you need to read. I've never read any of the other ones in the series, and I wasn't lost at all. You just kind of jump right in and still get to know the characters as you go, and it was so cute. It was uplifting. There was a theater in the town nearby that burned down, and they were going to do the Nutcracker, and so you have some of these actors and dancers that weren't able to get home because there was a big snowstorm as well, so they end up staying at Moonglow Inn, as well as the regulars that kind of come around that time. Friendships, being there for each other in this holiday season, and it was just adorable. I loved it. Then I read You're a Mean One, Matthew Prince. This one was one of those books that I consider like a guilty pleasure read. So it's one of those like comfort food type of things. I know a lot of times people think of guilty pleasure music like from the 80s or the 90s, where it's not necessarily a really great book. Like, it's not some amazingly well-written book at all, but it's adorable. It makes you feel good. It's a quick and easy read. It's like eating chocolate, where just get a little bit of that endorphin rush, and then you can move about your day and keep going. So we're following the main character, who is from a very well-off family. He goes out and buys an island, and his parents aren't too happy about that, and so they send him off basically as kind of like a punishment to make him lie low so he doesn't get any more social media coverage that may ruin the family's reputation. And so he's sent back to his grandparents' house in a small town, so it's his mom's parents. And from there, he goes to go set up in the room that he usually stays in. He finds out there's already somebody in there, so he's in the basement. He has to share a bunk bed with a stranger that he doesn't know. And I think really what I really liked about this one is not only the growth of the main character, but just the representation that was in it. I thought was done really well. So he has an anxiety disorder, and so I loved that the other character, the gentleman he's staying with in bunk beds, really notices it and knows that it's a thing and tries to help him. Like, it's like, breathe, let's count to 10, breathe with me, some of those kind of things, and just treats him like a normal human being, even though he has this disorder. And as someone who has suffered from anxiety, I really appreciated how they did the representation in the book. Next up, I have in slot number 6 is The Christmas Contest. This one was super short. I think it was under 150, but it might have been 75 pages for that one. But it was so cute. It was a grandfather who, his wife has passed on, his kids have all passed. All that's left is one grandson who lives in a different state, and he doesn't really get to see him at all. And the grandfather is sick and knows doesn't have much time left. And so he decides he's going to have this contest, and the winner of the contest will win his house. And it's in Nantucket. It's on a big property, so it's worth a lot of money if they decide to sell it. The person can live in it, they can sell it, they could do whatever they want. But they had to send a photo, and they had to write a letter, and then they had to also give $100 to show that they were serious. You got skin in the game, right? Come to find out, there's some ulterior motives in there on the grandfather's part. The grandson hears about this contest and realizes, like, hey, wait a minute. Why would you do this contest to give the house to a stranger? Like, I'm part of the family. Like, what's going on? The contest winner and the grandson both show up at the house, and the grandfather is like, well, the winner's already been chosen. What are you going to do about it? And they reach a compromise, and it was so cute. Slot number 5, A Sleigh Bells Ring. And so this one, we were in a small little town, and there's a lady that lives on a farm, and she does little goodies and mistletoe farms. I don't remember the name of the farm, but she sells some of her goods at the farmer's market. She can also see across the river that her and her friend end up witnessing a hunter getting shot. And they realize this is probably a murder and not an accidental thing. And so then it's again, under 250 pages, so it's a short story. And them trying to figure out what's going on, what really happened, who was the murderer, and all of this in amongst this quaint little town, getting to know some new friends and family, and it was cute. Most of these stories were adorable. They were cute, feel-good, guilty pleasure books. Slot number 4 was Christmas Magic. So I actually had a fantasy one on here. This one was under 300 pages. It was the longest one of the bunch that I read, which is how I read so many because they're all really short. And this one, the main character is a Claus, as in Santa Claus family. She's a descendant of the Clauses. Clauses are good, where their opposite is the Krampus clan, and they are the evil ones. You have good fairies and you have dark fairies. You have shapeshifters, so there's shifters that turn into reindeer and men. You have a totem. There's just all these fun little characters that are in here. And basically, the closer you get to Christmas time, the more your magic works. And the further away you get from Christmas time, the less magic you have at the time. But our main character has been hiding out in the human world for most of her life. When she was small, she found out that she had magic that worked all year round. Didn't matter the season, it was always strong. And her mom took her, and she never knew who her father was, but her mom took her to the human world to hide her because everyone will want to either use her or try and steal her gifts. Her mom has then passed away, and now she's living in the human world by herself. Their totem that she's had since she was a little girl, and a ghost. She can see ghosts, so the closer you are to Christmas time, the more you can see the ghost. And so this is kind of like her friend. It was fun. I thought it was a very well crafted story. There was a plot. There was the storyline you could follow. The characters were pretty well developed. There was Blitzen and Cupid and Dasher. So that was kind of fun too. So you got to recognize some of the names, and it was well written. I really enjoyed it. Number 3, some more romance in here. We have Love Light Farms. So I could see there's pretty mixed reviews on this one. I enjoyed it as a guilty pleasure, just kind of sitting and soaking in the bathtub while you read a fun romance. So this one is Friends to Lovers. There is some miscommunication. So basically she owns a farm with a partner and is not doing so well. She enters this Instagram contest and to win a prize to help keep the farm going. She ends up lying on the application because she thinks it would look better if it was said her and her boyfriend own the farm together. And so then she gets her best friend to play her boyfriend, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Okay, so my top 2 were the last 2 books that I read, and I just loved them. I thought they were so much fun. So number 2 was In a Holidays, and so this is this family that they knew each other in college, and they've all gotten married. They've all had kids. Some of their kids have now had kids, and they're all still getting together every Christmas at this cabin that one of the families own. And they get together and spend the holidays with each other every year. I just think that is amazing, just to keep everyone together. I think that's great. But so the main character, so she's been in love with one of the friends' kids forever, but she ends up making out with his brother instead, drunk on too much eggnog, and then finds out that the brother saw them, the one that she likes, and was like, oh, I think that's great you guys are together, and she's just devastated. And then Groundhog's Day ensues, so she repeats the same days over and over until she finally gets it right. It's really cute, but I love the relationships in this one. There's number 1 spot, The Holiday Trap. This one was adorable. So it's LGBTQIA+, and the 2 main characters, so one of them lives in Maine, and she's tired of her family controlling her, always telling her, you have to do this, you have to do that, you can't do this, you can't do that. The oldest sister is always like ragging on her about everything. She's a twin, but she still doesn't have quite that bond with her sister that she would want. She has a younger sister that she does get along really well with, but she's just tired of this life and wants something different, but doesn't feel like she can have anything different. Like, I'm just stuck in this life and I'm just going through the motions. And the other main character is from Louisiana, and he just found out that his longtime boyfriend, he goes to his house because it's heading towards the holidays. He wants to give him a gift, looks in the window and realizes that his boyfriend is married and has a child. That's not good. And he just wants to get out. He wants to get away from the memories, and just he feels just embarrassed that he didn't realize this beforehand because it's been like a year. And then the two of them actually have a friend in common from college. The lady in Maine knew her in college, and the gentleman knows her from Louisiana. She arranges for the two of them just to swap houses for the holidays. So the lady from Maine goes to Louisiana and lives in his house and takes care of his Great Dane, and the gentleman goes to Maine to live in her house and take care of all of her tropical plants, the Venus flytrap and a bunch of those kind of plants. They're pretty cool. And then there's healing, there's finding new love for both of them, and maybe even realizing they don't want to live where they did anymore, and they can actually change their lives. Can they take hold of their lives and not let other people control it, and realize that maybe the other people aren't controlling, I'm just letting them do it because I'm not standing up for myself. I think the main reason I loved those my top two books is because of the relationship building, the character building, and yeah, there was plot to them. You know, as they're contemporary romance, so I mean the world building's easy because it's today, you know. But I just thought they were so cute. I just love those books. 12 movies of Christmas. I'm going to break these up into two categories. I'll do 6 that were movies new to me. The first time I've ever watched them was this year. And then 6 oldies that I just have to watch every year. The new to me, number 12, was Love Hard. And that one was really good. The acting was done well. The storyline was good. And it was just really fun. 11, Trading Christmases. So that was a little bit like the holiday trap. Number 10 is A Boy Named Christmas, and that was really cute, not what I thought it was. And of course, I'm gonna forget her name, Maggie. She's in Downton Abbey, Minerva McGonagall in Harry Potter. Yes, I love her. She's in this. She does a great job. Number 9, Christmas with You. Number 8, The Noel Diary. This one was a good surprise. This one was really good. We thought it was going to end up being depressing, but it ended up just being so sweet. So it was just heartwarming, all the feels. It was just beautiful. Number 7, Christmas Chronicles 2. So we watched the first one again. This was the second time seeing the first one, and then first time seeing the second one. Oh my gosh, it was just so cute. I mean, Kurt Russell is such an amazing actor, and he does such a good job in these films. And of course, Goldie Hawn is also in the second one, and I love when they do movies together because they are so good together. And the music was great in both of them. Love them. Oldies. So number 6, Christmas Vacation. Have to watch it every year. And then we have number 5, Die Hard. I don't care what anybody says. Apparently Bruce Willis says it's not a Christmas movie, but there's a Santa Claus, there's Christmas music, it takes place during Christmas. Like, it's a Christmas movie. I love it. I'm gonna watch it every Christmas. And I like it even more after watching the Netflix show Movies That Made Us. They did an episode on Die Hard, and at the end, when Alan Rickman is hanging and they pull the watch off and he falls, when they did that scene, Alan Rickman knew he was going to fall and all of that, and you know, he was ready for it, but he didn't know when he was going to fall, and they kind of just let him go, and so that like surprise on his face is like 100% real. Then we have number 4, Pete's Christmas, another Groundhog's Day, basically repeating the same day over and over again, but it is just adorable. It has the actor from Diary of a Wimpy Kid in it, and I just love it. And Bailey Madison, I think is her name, from The Good Witch, and I'm sure a whole lot of other things that are more popular than that, but that's what I remember her from. Number 3, Holiday in Handcuffs. I love it. So we have Melissa Joan Hart, and I'm going to totally space on his name, A.C. Slater from Saved by the Bell, Mr. Dimples. Mario something? yes, I love that movie. That is one of my favorites. I mean, it's fun, it's lighthearted, it's off the wall. It's got isn't Marky Post that's in that one too? But just the acting is good, the storyline's fun. It's just cute all around. Just makes me laugh. And then number 2 is Spirit of Christmas. This one is another one. It's not a repeating of days. It's so this gentleman passes away way back when, back in the time of Prohibition. He was a rum runner. He ends up getting murdered, and his girlfriend is waiting for him to come back. So he passes away. Fast forward to the future, and the last remaining heir of this inn, so the brothers own an inn that was passed down from their parents and their family, and so it's kept going through the generations, and finds out that the last remaining family member has passed away, and now they're trying to sell the inn, but apparently there's a ghost, and someone is sent to get the building appraised so that they can get it sold and be done with that client. And she meets the ghost and is trying to figure out, like, why is he there? Is he cursed? Because he's only there for 12 days of Christmas. So basically the 24th he's gone. So he's there for 12 days, once a year, every year, and that's it. So he's never been able to figure out why he's there, what's happened. I just love that movie. So good. Okay, but number 1, A Christmas Kiss. This one has, his name's Brandon. I should have looked up some of their names because I don't remember. But the actor from the original Roswell, he was the younger brother. It's adorable. So this lady is an up-and-coming interior designer, and she works for like the best interior designer in town, and who's basically a servant to this lady. Like, oh, I need my house cleaned. My maid can't make it. Come clean my house, kind of thing. And she's like, but I have to, it's my job. Her friend's like, no, it's Sunday at 11 p.m. Or 8 p.m. You're off the clock. Whatever can wait until tomorrow morning. But oh no, she answers, because I have to be able to get my career going, and this is the way to do it. And so she's going over one of these random times when her boss is like, get over here now, at her house to do some kind of servant type thing. And she's all dolled up because she used to be in musical theater, and her friend does the makeup for the Nutcracker that's going to be going on. And so she's all dolled up to go out with her friends, and she meets a guy on an elevator. There's a scary thing going on. It's like the elevator drops and then it stalls, and they share this amazing kiss. There's a spark, and then she's all embarrassed because the door's open. There's carolers and a bunch of people standing there, and she runs off, has no idea who it is. Comes to find out the next day, she goes into work and goes to see Miss Hall, her boss, and lo and behold, there's Adam, her boyfriend, and it was the elevator guy. Now she's devastated because it's her boss's boyfriend, and that's not good. And I love that movie. And so Holiday in Handcuffs used to be my top number 1 of all time, and Christmas Kiss has surpassed that one. Now Christmas Kiss 2, not so much. I've watched it once and I'm good. Don't need to watch it again. So that is my 12 books and my 12 movies of Christmas. So thank you for joining me. Yeah, so please like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell if you want to hear more from me, and I will see you in the comments. Bye.